So we are going to chart just kind of the way people have migrated throughout history from a really, really, really long time ago until kind of like the recent past to where people are now. Okay, so you guys are going to draw what I'm going to draw. We're also going to include a timeline at the top of our map just to kind of give you some perspective. Sometimes it's hard for us to know how old really old can be and when people and like the oldest fossils and stuff were found. So we're going to include a timeline at the top of our map. You can do it either at the top or the bottom. I don't care. Is that like crooked? It feels like it's crooked.
Yeah, it is. It's still crooked.
Dang it. I shouldn't have messed with it.
It's still crooked.
That's as good as it's going to get. Oh, wow. I could click undo. That'd be smart. Okay, that was the original one. Great. I just need to move it down. Ah, dang it. Shoot! All right. Oh, well. I can't. It won't move with just... Oh, it does move with one finger. Get out. Okay. Is that... Boom! Look at that. Okay, so make your... No, you can get extra credit if you color your one-pagers.
Oh, I do. All the time.
Okay, great. Then 10 extra points it is. Okay, I'm going to do a fun color. I'm going to do purple. There we go. All right. So draw your timeline up at the top. We're going to start over on the left side with 200,000 BCE. BCE is before Common Era. And towards the right side of our timeline is going to be 0. And about right here is going to be 2018. This is where we are currently. Okay, so we're going to see how far 200,000 BCE really is. So this is Common Era going forward where we are now. And this is BCE going back that way. Okay? All right, so in Tanzania is where, okay, we haven't done the Africa sketch map. We will eventually. But in Tanzania, in Africa, is where they have found the oldest fossils ever. So that is in Africa, and we're going to put a star right there, okay? We're going to write Olduvai, O-L-D, U-V-A-I, Olduvai Gorge, because that's the area where the first, like the oldest fossils were ever found, okay? Out to the side, we're going to put Cradle of Humanity. What? Yes, you can. I can zoom in too. Does that help? Cradle of Humanity. Olduvai Gorge. Dude, it's gonna be crooked. It's fine. Oh. Wait until I zoom out. I'm sure it will be. So this was 200,000 years ago. Let's write that down too. So, like, really long time ago. We can't even fathom that. We're in year 2018. Like, 2018. That's nothing compared to 200,000 years ago, okay? That's, like, forever and ever and ever ago, all right? So, oldest fossils found here, all right? Now, we're going to draw an arrow to Saudi Arabia. Remember, Saudi Arabia was on our first sketch map in the Middle East, okay? It's right there on the Arabian Peninsula. All right, this was 70,000 to 50,000 years ago. So over time, from 200,000 years ago to 70,000 years ago, people eventually migrated to the Middle East. Okay, up on our timeline, let's go map it on our timeline. About right there is going to be 70,000 years ago. And this is going to be about 50,000 years ago. Okay. So people, when they got to Saudi Arabia, they kept going. There was lots of land. So they kept exploring. They went down through India, through all those little countries that we, or the islands that we drew the other day on our sketch map, and eventually ended up in Australia 50,000 years ago. Okay, that's how people ended up there. Now, while that was going on, or shortly after people were getting down to Australia, people were also started going the other way, out of Saudi Arabia in the Middle East, and they figured out how to use boats, and they ended up getting to Europe. Okay, so this is 40,000 to 30,000 years ago. Remember, we're going backwards here, number-wise. Okay, 40 to 30,000 years ago. They went through the Mediterranean Sea. All right? So let's map that up at the top as well. On our timeline, we have 40,000 and 30,000. Can you see that? Bless you. Okay. Also, people started moving out of the Middle East and they went across the rest of Asia. Okay. So they went through China and up through Russia. And how do you think people got to the U.S. or to North America? Boat or what?
Boat.
You think it was boat? That's a boat across an ocean is a long.
They can't fly.
You're right, they can't fly. Zach, what's the other option?
The very tip of East Russia is like not very far from Australia.
Alaska.
Alaska.
Boom, right there. That's how they made it. They came through over here, so our arrow keeps coming this way. Okay, this was 40, I don't know if you can see that.
Didn't they have to take a boat to do that?
It was probably ice. You ever seen Ice Age?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 40,000 years ago. So eventually they started moving their way down through here. I mean, this took like a long time, right? This wasn't just like happening overnight or over a period of a couple years. This is happening over like thousands of years. Okay, so people are very slowly migrating. And again, not a lot of people, obviously, during this time, okay? Population not near as what it is today, okay? Very few people, obviously no medicine, no nothing, okay? Bare bones. So this is taking thousands and thousands of years for people to slowly migrate, okay? So they eventually start making their way down through the U.S. This is going to start the process. It's going to be about 20,000 to 15,000 years ago is when they start really making their way into North America, okay? So we need to map 20 to 15 on our timeline. $15,000 years ago. Okay. And then eventually people are going to make it all the way down through Central America and South America. Okay. This is, oh, what? There we go. This is going to be 15 to 12,000 years ago. Why is it doing that? Okay. Hey. Yeah, fourth period. Oh, okay, great. No. No, I don't. Because they're really quiet and they're listening to everything I say. Okay, fine. All right. So let's map 15 to 12,000, or I guess 12,000 up here on our timeline. Okay, so this is the human journey. All right, this is how people, the oldest fossils, okay, found in the Olduvai Gorge in Africa, okay, that's how people eventually started spreading out over thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. So let's look at the top at our timeline, okay, to put into perspective. 2018 over on the right, over here, is so small in comparison to 200,000 years ago, way far over on the left, okay? People have been around forever, okay? Longer than we could ever imagine, okay? So if you think about how long we are here on this earth, it's like nothing compared to history, right? So this whole unit is going to talk about just migration, where people are. This is truly the start of it, okay? This is why we kind of start with this in this unit, so that way you can know where people started, where they moved to, okay?